The message arrived without a sound. Across dozens of human colonies, every screen turned black. Then a single symbol appeared. The crest of the Galactic Empire. People paused. Soldiers froze. Even the old mining stations at the edge of human space went silent. In the command center of Solar Fleet Command, Admiral Rhea Hale watched the symbol flicker. She had seen it once before, many years ago, when humanity was still considered too small to matter. But this time, the Empire was ignoring them. This time, the Empire was warning them. The voice that followed was cold, metallic, and full of arrogance. Humans, your expansion has crossed Imperial borders. Withdraw immediately or face cleansing. Every human officer in the room felt the pressure in the air. The Empire never used the word cleansing unless they meant total destruction. They used it for species they believed were weak or unworthy. The room waited for panic. But Admiral Hale didn't panic. She smiled. It wasn't a happy smile, not a brave smile. It was the kind of smile a person wears when they know something the enemy doesn't. Outside the command window, Earth's first Titan-class warship drifted like a sleeping beast. Dark metal, thick armor, silent engines. It was humanity's secret, a ship built quietly, far from Imperial eyes. The Empire thought humans were still flying old defense cruisers. They had no idea. "Hail to Fleet Group A," she said calmly. "Prepare response, not a retreat." Her officers stared. "Admiral, they want us to surrender." "No," she replied softly. "They want us to fear them." She looked again at the giant warship outside. "Send our answer," she said. "Let them see that humanity does not fear warnings." And somewhere in deep space, a human fleet powered up, smiling. The Empire received humanity's reply only 6 minutes after sending their threat. No apology, no fear, no request for negotiation. Just a short message from Admiral Hale. "We do not run." Inside the Imperial High Chamber, every elite officer stared at the words in disbelief. Species usually begged. Some cried. Many vanished completely. But humans? They replied with confidence, almost humor. "Are they mocking us?" an Imperial general growled. "They are." Smiling, another whispered. Imperial sensors activated instantly, scanning the region where the message came from. What they saw made no sense. Energy spikes. Unknown signatures. A fleet size larger than the Empire expected. But the shock came from something else. One massive object was moving, slow and silent, like a ghost drifting through the dark. A ship they had never seen before. Back on Earth, Admiral Hale watched her fleet align into formation. Thousands of people across human colonies tuned in, unaware of how close they stood to war. Lights flickered across the Titan-class warship's armor. Engineers ran last-minute checks. Weapons hummed softly, preparing. Humanity had changed since the Empire last looked at them. They were no longer explorers. They were survivors, tested by wars, disasters, and impossible odds. And they had learned one thing clearly. Fear is a weapon that works only when you accept it. Admiral Hale stood in front of her officers. "When the Empire scouts arrive, do not fire first," she ordered. One officer blinked. "Why, Admiral?" "Because," she said, "I want them to see the fleet clearly. I want them to understand what they're dealing with." Outside the window, the Titan-class ship powered its main reactors. Blue energy spread across its hull like veins waking up. Humanity wasn't hiding. They were smiling boldly and waiting. The first Imperial scout ship dropped out of warp near the human border. A small vessel, fast and built for observation, not combat. Its sensors immediately stretched across the darkness, searching for weakness, searching for fear. But what the ship found instead was silence. Then the darkness shifted. A shadow moved. A giant shape glided out from behind an asteroid field. Slow, controlled, perfect in posture. The scout crew froze as their screens lit up with impossible readings. "It's huge," whispered the Imperial navigator. "No, this cannot be right," replied the captain. "Humans do not build ships of this class." But the Titan-class warship didn't care about their confusion. It continued to move like a calm predator. Its armor plates reflected faint blue light. Its engine stayed nearly silent. Then a second ship appeared behind it. Then a third. Then an entire formation of human vessels formed a wall in space. The Empire expected rusty cruisers. Instead, they saw military engineering they never believed humans could achieve. The scout captain swallowed hard. Send a report. Immediately. Back on Earth, Admiral Hale watched the Imperial ship approach the fleet. She didn't raise shields. She didn't charge weapons. She allowed the Empire to look, to truly understand. Admiral, her communication officer said, Empire scouts are scanning us. They're confused, almost afraid. Good, Hale replied softly. Let them feel something new. For centuries, the Empire had intimidated species with just a warning. Now, the Empire itself felt intimidated by humans. The Titan-class warship shifted slightly, revealing its full size. The Empire scout ship flinched backward, engines shaking as it retreated. They're running, an officer said with surprise. No, Hale corrected. They're reporting. She looked at the massive fleet behind her and smiled. Let the Empire prepare. Their fear has only begun. The Imperial scouts' report hit the high chamber, like a shockwave. At first, the admirals refused to believe it. Humans were a developing species, a minor civilization, a footnote in galactic politics. Yet the images on their screens told a different story. A massive human warship, larger than an Imperial dreadnought, a fleet arranged in perfect formation, energy readings that exceeded known human technology by decades. Silence filled the room. Finally, the Imperial Commander General spoke. Begin defensive mobilization. Assume humans have reached strategic parity. His officers stared at him, stunned. Sir, are you suggesting humans are now equal to the Empire? He clenched his jaw. No, I'm saying they may be stronger. Meanwhile, the Empire sent a second, larger reconnaissance fleet. 5 warships, to confirm the truth. They jumped into human space, expecting resistance, expecting fear. But what they saw made them halt instantly. The Titan-class warship was waiting for them. It didn't aim its weapons. It didn't move aggressively. It simply hovered there, completely calm, completely confident, its armor glowing faint blue, its engines pulsing like a heartbeat. Admiral Hale stood on the bridge, watching the Imperial formation on her screens. They want to measure our strength, she said. So let them. Her officers awaited orders. Power up reactors? No. Raise shields? No. Launch drones? No. She simply folded her hands behind her back. Show them everything, she said. But do not fire unless they do. From the Empire side, confusion grew. Why aren't they attacking? An Imperial captain asked. Why are their reactors so stable? Why do they look relaxed? Human ships were calm, almost casual, like warriors who had already calculated every possible outcome. The Empire's captains felt something new, uncertainty. The human fleet wasn't preparing for war. They were waiting for the Empire to understand who they had just threatened. The Empire's 5-warship reconnaissance fleet held position, unsure what to do next. Their scanners kept returning the same impossible result. Human power levels were stable, controlled, confident, no panic, no rush movements, no disorder. It was the opposite of every species the Empire had ever threatened. Inside the Titan-class warship, Admiral Hale watched the Imperial ships drifting nervously at the edge of her formation. She could almost sense their fear through the screens. The Empire was used to dominance, but today they saw something they had not expected. Admiral, her communication officer said, the Empire is sending a direct hailing request. Hale nodded, opened the channel. A hologram flickered to life. An Imperial captain with sharp features and forced arrogance. But behind his eyes was uncertainty and a hint of fear. Human commander, he said, by order of the Galactic Empire, you are required to withdraw your forces. Immediate compliance is demanded. Admiral Hale didn't flinch. She didn't blink. She simply smiled. It was the same smile she gave her officers earlier, a calm, knowing smile that said, You have no idea what you're dealing with. Captain, she said, her voice steady and controlled. Your empire threatened our people. You tried to intimidate us. But humanity is not intimidated. The Imperial captain stiffened. Your species risks extinction by defying us. Hale stepped closer to the hologram. Extinction? She repeated softly. Look at our fleet. Look at our ship. Do we look like a species that is afraid of threats? Behind her, the Titan-class warship thrummed with power. Blue energy crawled across its hull like lightning. The Imperial sensors picked it up instantly. Warning alarms blared on their ships. Energy surge detected. Human weapon systems, unknown. Retreat, Vector recommended. The Imperial captain swallowed. For the first time, the Empire knew they had underestimated humanity. And humanity had just shown its teeth. The Imperial captain stood frozen as the warning alarms echoed across his bridge. His officers rushed between consoles, trying to understand the readings flooding their screens. This energy level, it's beyond our classifications. Sir, the human ship, its reactors are stable at impossible output. Recommend immediate withdrawal. But the captain couldn't look away from the image of the Titan-class warship. It wasn't aiming weapons. It wasn't charging toward them. It was simply there, silent, massive, and unshaken. No species had ever faced the Empire like this. Admiral Hale watched them with calm eyes. She spoke again, her voice steady, almost gentle. You came expecting fear. Instead, you found strength. The Imperial captain swallowed. W, what is your demand? Hale shook her head slowly. Humanity does not demand, she said. We defend, we protect, and we do not bow. Her officers listened in silence, every word carrying the weight of their entire civilization. Then Hale gave a single order, a quiet one, a peaceful one, but powerful enough to shake the Empire's pride. Activate the Radiance Protocol. Outside, the Titan-class warship lit up, not with weapons, but with pure energy illumination. Blue arcs danced across the hull. The engines ignited with controlled brilliance. The ship expanded its defensive shield like a glowing sphere of light. Not an attack, not aggression, a demonstration, a message. We are not afraid of you. The Imperial ship staggered backward, their sensors overloaded. Their engines sputtered under the pressure of the human ship's presence. Retreat! The Imperial captain shouted. All ships retreat now. In seconds, they jumped to warp, fleeing human space as fast as their engines allowed. Back on Earth, Admiral Hale finally relaxed. She looked out at her fleet, the quiet warriors of a species that had been underestimated for too long. They tried to intimidate us, she said softly, but we smiled back. Humanity had changed the galaxy that day, not by war, not by destruction, but by showing the Empire a truth they had never seen. Humanity does not fear warnings. Humanity becomes stronger because of them, and the galaxy would never forward.